it's a big problem. And it's really sad, and I wouldn't wish this type of pain on anyone. You know, and we're in a historical spot, not too far where Freddie Gray was murdered, but the fact that victims keep on getting murdered over and over again, and tonight we have over 40 plus names to read. That happened in less than what, like 2 weeks a week? 2 weeks. 2 weeks, 40 more people murdered by the police that we know of. And it's a big problem. So my heart is just really broken and sad tonight. It's overwhelming because nobody's family should go through this. And I just want to quickly uplift my brother's name real quick, and then we can talk about the other victims of police brutality. So my big brother, Tyrone West, was executed on July 18, 2013. He was pretty much beat to death in broad daylight by up to 20 cops. Literally, pulled out by his red lights. I had let him borrow my Mercedes-Benz because I thought it would be a safe haven because this is my big brother. I didn't want him catching the bus, and this happened over in East Baltimore. It happened on Kentmore Avenue. And literally, a half hour after my brother picked me up from work, he got a phone call from a young lady that he barely knew. And she was in need of a ride. And he said, hey sis, can I borrow the car? Can I go and get her? And I said, sure, as long as you pick up your niece tonight from work, because my oldest daughter was at the time a teenager and she was working at McDonald's. So I was like, as long as you grab your niece, we're good. And literally, within a half hour after my brother left me, he was brutally executed for no reason. And the saddest part, the first two telecoms that accosted my brother, Bernardo Ruiz and Nicholas Davis Chapman, they're repeat violent, dangerous offenders. Literally 24 hours before they murdered my brother, they just pulled Darrell Harris and was getting ready to kill him for a traffic stop. But thank God he went on Facebook Live. He knew what to do. He was like, why are you using my seatbelt as a way to pull me over? I don't feel safe right now. He felt threatened. And they still, like pulled him out and roughed him up. And literally 2 weeks before that, there was Abdul Salam, literally a person that lived around that community. And he was just driving his 3-year-old son, and they were just coming from the supermarket, and literally as he was pulling up through his alleyway, here's Ruiz and Chapman, the ones that started murdering my brother. But they literally pulled Abdul Salam out, beat him up and everything in front of his 3-year-old child at the time. His son was only 3 years old, and all he remembered the whole scene as daddy being tossed on the floor. And the saddest part, he kept telling them he wanted the neighbor to get his son. He's like, get my son away from here, let Miss Shirley get my son. And they were so disrespectful. They're like, no, if your wife is not down here within a half an hour, we're sending your baby to CPS. That's how disrespectful they were. And they did do that. His wife literally had to go to CPS to get her child. And for no reason. And my whole point is, and the reason why to this day we have people probably saying, well, dang, why y'all still out there so long? Let me tell y'all, this type of pain never ever goes away. This is the pain, and I'm thinking, and I was praying that, oh my God, these maybe 5 or 6 years, maybe I would feel a little bit. I have not grieved in over a decade, never grieved. And the only way I will be able to grieve is when my big brother Tyrone West get accountability. Like literally, the corruption is so real to the point that after my brother was brutally murdered by 20 people, literally 20 armed men and women, 20 armed men and women beat my brother to death, pepper sprayed him, tased him, tortured him in broad daylight. And if that wasn't enough, the medical examiner's office, David Fowler at the time, covered up one unarmed man murder. Literally covered it up. And if one would ask, how did they cover it up? Well, first of all, let's be clear, when they did the autopsy, they had some of the officers that murdered my brother sitting down at the autopsy while Pamela Southall was reviewing my brother's body. That's strike number one. And it was just so sad now that I think about it. Even when they murdered my brother, they listed my brother as a John Doe. My brother had my vehicle, and that was so devastating and heartbreaking. And for me, literally, after 2 weeks of trying to figure out what was going on when they handed me my car keys back. And they told me, first of all, they told me I would never see my car again, that it was on a drug hold. And I'm like, first of all, why would it be on a drug hold? My brother didn't have any drugs in my car. I don't use drugs. I'm a teacher, and to this day, I'm still a teacher. You know, but back then when it happened, I was just in shock. And then when I got the packet back that said John Doe, and I'm like, how in the world was my brother John Doe when he had his identification on him? And even if that was the case, there's my vehicle, there's my registration, there's my teacher ID badge hanging up in my car. You could have gave me a call and said, hey, Miss Jones, we had something that happened to your brother. They were so busy covering up, they didn't even give me a call. Like, literally, I'm not lying to y'all. May God, like, be my witness. At approximately 7:18, when my brother was being murdered, I felt all type of pain in my body. That's how close we were. You know, this was my big brother, many years apart, but I felt so close to him that I was feeling pain in my neck. It felt like somebody broke my neck. I fell on the floor in my room, and I'm shaking, crying like, oh my God, something is wrong. And then when I called his cell phone, he didn't pick up, and it was to the point at the time I sent my ex to go look for him. I'm like, please go down this house. He's not answering. He was like, calm down, Tawanda. Maybe he's asleep. His phone might be dead. I'm like, no, something bad has happened. He went down there. When he didn't see my car, we knew something was right by then. I'm calling my family, like, let's check hospital. I'm thinking worst case, a car accident. Nothing. Like, then my family started calling, you know, hospitals. They started calling down the nearest precinct to make sure, like, maybe if he got pulled over for whatever reason. Nobody they could not find him. And literally, as I'm calling my aunt, like, did y'all hear anything else? Literally, the 10 o'clock news come on. There's my green Mercedes-Benz in the middle of the street with my brother water bottle, because we had just got finished eating dinner. Like, he had took me before he got that call to go and pick this young lady up. We had just got finished eating dinner. We were ordering our dinner, and that's when the young lady said, hey, my ride is not coming. Can your sister let you hold my car and come get me from my mom's? And he asked me, and I said, sure, as long as you pick your niece up. But it just broke my heart seeing my brother's lifeless body on late-breaking 10 o'clock news. And even before then, at the time before, I was actually dating a police officer in the city, and I even gave him a call. We weren't together then, but I'm like, I just want to know, and I'm just acting off of the Spirit of God. I'm like, did you get a Signal 13? I didn't never heard or knew what a Signal 13 was. And he's like, yeah, about 15 minutes ago. I was like, oh my God, that's my brother. Go check that out. And he's like, oh my God, she's going crazy. That means the officer's there. I said, I don't care what it means. God told me literally to call you. I'm acting off my spirit. Please check it out. And he never checked it out because he was at his district. But for me to learn that a Signal 13 pretty much says the officers down there, any officers in the surrounding area can come and participate and back their brothers in blue. And they came to like a whole gang. They came to like a gang, not to save my brother's life, but to participate in taking my brother's life. My brother was screaming, help, help, Trayvon Martin, because that was the last conversation. That's when the Black Lives Matter movement had just sparked off. And here it is, my brother, a dying person after being pepper sprayed, tased, beat with batons, open fists, and screaming, Trayvon Martin, help. Somebody called 911, help. Screaming, pleading for his life. And not one of them, not one of those killer cops would restrain themselves for 2 seconds just to stop. And if that wasn't enough, the witnesses described my brother as being a fish out of water. The way he was gasping and he couldn't catch his breath, he couldn't breathe. He was in a hog-tie position, face down. And then it was Killer David Killer Lewis, a 340-pound man from Morgan State University College. He was another gang member that got that Signal 13. He crashed up the Morgan State University vehicle just to come set all that weight in his knee and my brother's neck and back. I know y'all heard about what happened to George Floyd. Well, my brother was the first George Floyd right here in the city, right here before Freddie Gray. And I've been out here timeless, relentlessly fighting peacefully for 639 weeks as of today. Working non-stop, a mother of 4, doing what I got to do, getting death threats. I literally went in my pocketbook when we got that flimsy medical examiner's report back that I knew that was going to come back in my brother's defense to say, oh, my brother was murdered. You know, and then I knew that the videos, because they said people had videos saying that they saw my brother get murdered. I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to see the videos, but we do need the videos. To this day, no videos, nothing. But literally, when that flimsy report came back and said, oh, Mr. West died from a bad heart and dehydration, I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? I then went into my pocketbook as a teacher. Teachers don't make nothing. And I got out $50,000. I didn't do a GoFundMe. I didn't ask the community participation. I did this on my own because you would not go to lie with my big brother and say that he died from a bad heart dehydration when they tortured him. They hid his body for 5 days, y'all. We couldn't even, with the funeral being paid for by his daughter. His daughter paid for his funeral. The very next day, they would not let us get my brother's body until 5 days later, because they were covering up. As soon as our loved ones get murdered and they bring out that black sheet to cover them up, that's when the cover-up begins. When they have the yellow tape around police investigation, they're policing themselves. They're hiding evidence. And the saddest part, it didn't stop with my brother. Before my brother, there was Anthony Anderson and many other victims. Kevin Cooper, the list goes on. And it does not stop. And for me to literally, and when I found out about Dante Melton getting murdered and pretty much smothered to death like my brother, and as soon as I saw his mom on the news and heard about her, it broke my heart. Because every time we hear about these victims, it opens our loved one coffin all over again and leaves us with that same pain. I literally reached out to the news reporter like, please put me on with his mother. Because the thing is, we don't know how corrupt this system is. I didn't have nobody to say, oh, don't do this, don't talk to this one. Because people will send you down a dead end road. They don't care about our loved ones. They care about money. The lawyers, from the lawyers to everybody, they care about money and profit. This is a capitalist system that does not give a darn about us. We got to care about each other. That's why I want to knock it down and build it back up again. I done tried everything from everything, like even Gary come up with more documentaries. They keep documenting and filming this pain, but what are they doing with my pain? What are they doing with it? They've been on numerous documentaries that got so many rewards. The biggest reward is accountability. I'm not here when the sun, pretty much when the camera's not around, we can't sleep at night. So I don't care about no cameras. I don't care about who shows up. I don't care if nobody shows up. Every week, if I gotta come out by myself, and I thank God that I have not had to, because the West Coalition has always been here. My family has always been here. And even though they're not out here now, and it breaks my heart, but it was too much for them. But it's never too much for me. I will fight to the end of time till I get accountability. Woo! For my big brother, Tommy West, but for all these victims of police brutality. It is sad right now. I don't know if y'all heard about Sonia Massey. Sonia Massey was murdered in her home, and all she said was, God forbid, like she said, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus Christ, because the officer, she called for help, because she felt like somebody was trying to break in her house, and she was going through a mental health crisis. Calling for help should not want a death sentence. That is not a death sentence when you call for help.
Right.
That is not a death sentence. I will repeat it. This woman was in her home calling for help. The police showed up. They started pretty much wanting a reason to get in that house to execute her. This white racist killer cop had already planned out what he wanted to do. Because that's what we think about the KKK when he had on the white suits and all that hitting the way. Let's talk about the Ku Klux Klan. Let's talk about
that's right.
The blue silent wall that they fight, that they cover them up. So when they're in that blue uniform, it don't matter if they black or white. It's the color blue. That's what it matters about. They cover up for each other. It's that sisterhood blue. It's that legalized genocide. It's that legalized gang. It's the Ku Klux Klan. That's what it is.
Yep.
And America. The United Snakes of America. And they live off our pain. Meanwhile, they open up a Freddie Gray Center in this community. What has the Freddie Gray Center did for anybody in this community? Meanwhile, we got people purging, coming, killing our lives. So I felt compelled to be right here tonight for this big protest, because it's very important. They're killing our people in this community. And when I found out after they murdered, assassinated, Dante Mountain assassinated this young man that should be here with his dead family. Mother is just like, mine is gone. This something that will just change you and mess you up for the rest of your life. And it hits you at the worst time. You can be feeling good, laughing, and 2 seconds later, you cry. You tore up from the floor up. And I would never want to lose one of my children. But just to lose any loved one through police brutality, that is horrible. And then the way they play it, they try to make it seem like community violence is over here, police brutality is over here. Baby, it's together to the highway of hell. It's together to this apartment system that is killing us, wiping us out. It's the same system that allowed them to come in this community with justice and kill, giving out death. Giving out death and nobody's doing it. Nobody's looking at those 50 ODs and nobody's looking at that. And then they just killing people. And I heard a young woman was pretty much, her brother was murdered and she was shot in the stomach, y'all. And they never can find the killers who do when they kill our people. But let somebody Caucasian, they got money, get killed, or they ain't gotta get killed. They can get attacked, they gonna find a person, they gonna know how to apply the law. The law system will work for us. And I'm sick and tired of this bleached down system. And why I say bleached down system, because we know if you don't bleach on colored clothes, it messes it completely up. It's messing us up. But it works perfectly fine for Caucasian white people. Works perfectly fine for them. So I don't hear about reform or none of that, because I done tried all of that. It's not going to work. They feed off our pain. They want to say, oh, well, this one had a knife, this one had... I'm here for all the victims, the ones that had a knife, the ones that had a gun, the one that was on the run. I'm here for Lottie, Dottie, and everybody. That's who I'm here for. Because guess what? If you don't believe me, they don't execute serial killers. They give them a chance to walk to accountability, and they put them in a bulletproof vest, and they give them a burger, and they ship them out with no scratch. So I don't want to hear about, oh, she had a knife, he had a knife. See, no. I don't care. But again, Sonia Massey was murdered in her own home, and I got a chance to go across the world and be her father, who's tortured. He's in court watching this racist piece of crap, and he's trying to fight for his daughter's life, and they're trying to get this killer cop off. And he murdered. He told her, B, I'm going to shoot you in the face. She better not move. She's like, what are you talking about? I can shoot you in the name of Jesus Christ. And he shot her in the head like what he said.
Put him in jail.
And then the saddest part, when they execute our loved ones, they cover up, like I said. As soon as they throw that black cover on us, the cover up comes in. They lied and told him that she committed suicide. What? Suicide? Are you kidding me? And let's not talk about the lynchings that are happening in different states where they are hanging. We're in 2025. We got a college student, Trey Reed, hanging from a tree. Hanging from a tree at his college, y'all. And we cool with it? It's cool? It's not cool. What, are you going to have to come hang one of us from a tree? Come in our own homes? Like, we got to pull together and knock this system down. And every time I take a chance and I come out here and I tell y'all stuff, they turn up on me more. Literally, I had a white guy come to my home after the last protest when I was down in West Baltimore. Came to my home to serve me for a parking ticket. A parking ticket, y'all. Literally come to my house to serve me for a parking ticket. Don't even know if I was in the car or not. It was even a moving violation that they pulled me up and I served them my driver's license, but yet a parking ticket. And if you think about Corinne Gaines, she was executed for a traffic violation where they sent the squad to come out to Corinne Gaines' house in the county and kill her and shoot her baby in the face. Police brutality is real, y'all. It's real. And guess what? They ain't just killing black folks, they killing white folks too. But I'm here to talk about our people. They killing white folks too. And I'm here for all the victims of police brutality. All of them. But I will say tonight, I saw something that I never saw before. It was a female police officer. She came up and she was respectful. I never saw that in my life. She literally came to me like, excuse me, can I ask you something? I said, yes. And I'm all on the fence. I ain't even gonna lie. I was ready. Because I stayed ready. What's up? She was like, no, what's going on? And I explained, she's like, I'm sorry for your loss. And none of them have never said that. And did she even ask, could she be respectful to walk the seat out or something? I said, sure, go ahead. That has never happened. And that's what we need. Whereas they trying to separate us and put us, that's what we need for the good ones. But if you stand by and you see somebody getting beat to death, you are a bad officer. I don't care how good you want to look. If you stand there and you know brutality is happening and you're covering up, you are a part of the problem.
That's right.
Just as like if I see one of my colleagues abuse a student, guess what? I'm an abuser. If I watch that type of foolishness and I don't help that baby, I'm an abuser too. It ain't no, oh well, I didn't do it. No, it's on my hands too. And that's the same way with these killer cops. So I just want y'all to be safe. I want y'all to keep just all the prayers and the love on the families, because it's getting worse, y'all. And then the administration that we're under right now, it's getting worse. Like, we are at 40-something names in 2 weeks, y'all. We get a national level with a national news outlet where we read the different names, but we got 40-something names tonight, y'all. So I ain't gonna talk y'all. If anybody want to share or add or augment anything I'm saying, please come up and say something. Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.